is the smelliest blue archive character? I should have charged money for this request. Okay, back to character. Who is the smelliest Blue Archive character? Before we tackle the topic, I just want to say that there's a common misconception that women are these divine smelling individuals. And I would understand you think that way because you haven't felt the touch of a woman, not to be insulting. But I can tell you that there are some girls who smell so much worse than the stereotype Redditor. I'm just saying, yeah, not every girl, obviously. And how do I know that? Well, back in college, there was this girl who kept calling me a sissy because I regularly take baths. And my cologne doesn't smell like Axe body spray. I actually use a feminine cologne, and I am not ashamed of that. And when I went to her house for a project, god damn, her room smells like a combination of nice smelling fresh laundry folded by her mom, combined with her body odor, bad hygiene, lack of perfume in the room that I just had to. The moral of the story is that I have experience in woman smell, and that sounds creepy as hell. I will never say that again. So, who is the smelliest BA character? Right now, you're probably thinking, it's Kozeki Ui, right? The stinky librarian of Trinity. And you're not wrong thinking that. You're actually not wrong. But smell is very subjective, so I will give you a list of candidates on whom are the stinkiest. So, of course, we have Miss Lolly Stink Ui. Then there is the Rabbit Platoon Miyako, Saki, Miyu, and Moe. Special Class number 227, Nodoka and Shigure. Aryu Squad Saori, Hiyori, Misaki, and Natsuko. And unexpectedly, the Game Development Club, Yuzu, Midori, Momoe. But we're excluding Alice, which I'll explain later. Those are the ones whom I think are the stinkiest. But who is the stinkiest? Let's analyze and see, shall we? Let's go with what most people think is the stinkiest. Ui. So why Ui? Why does everyone think Ui is the smelliest? Well, personality-wise, she's an antisocial hermit who barely goes outside. And she's always at the library, which honestly doesn't sound that bad. But in the event story, The Sister and the Magician, Ui offers Hinata and Sensei a place to sleep in the library. But if Sensei decides to comment on the smell, she will kick Sensei out, which signifies that she is quite a stinker. When you also factor in her clothing, right? She is wearing a cardigan on top of her school uniform, and under that uniform is a turtleneck shirt. That is 3 layers of clothing for someone who rarely bathes. Ah. She also has a long ass skirt and lengthy hair, so maintaining that is a pain in the ass, and you have to take a bath regularly. You can imagine the thick, cunny musk building underneath, I tell ya. 3 layers of clothes, very thick skirt, very long hair, cunny musk. If I were to describe you what Ui would smell like, let's just imagine. You woke up from a very hot night, and you have drool on your face. Alright, you have drool on your face now, right? It's some kind of facial wash now. It's thick, it's sticky, it's on your lips, it's on your mouth, it's somewhere on your face. You didn't wash it off. You went outside, you went anyways, you didn't wash anything, and then you haven't bathed for a week. Now that's what I think Ui would smell, which honestly, it's not the worst. It's bad, but it's not the worst. Does Ui have a bad hygiene? Absolutely, not even a contest, not even an argument. She has all she needs, and she just doesn't want to do it, which is... that's kinda nasty. Imagine you have soap, and you don't want to use the soap and take a bath. But I'm not judging. I'm judging. But is it the worst? Perhaps, actually perhaps. Now let's go to the other side. The outside. The Rabbit Platoon is a different case compared to Ui. So, the Rabbit Stink is a different description. Because of their lifestyle, having to live outside in tents, you cannot bathe regularly, And with what we've seen in the main story, Volume 4, Sensei was asked to step back or they will shoot Sensei. And why you ask? Because the girls haven't bathed for days. Imagine the stench. They also have layers of clothing, by the way. They will have that outdoor smell. And I don't have a perfect description for that smell is. In Filipino, we call that the amoy mandirigma. But there is no direct translation to that in English. But I guess it's something like imagine going outside for school or work from 7 a.m. till 9 p.m. And during that outside work, you had to do some running, you were exposed to the sun, and the sunlight is drying up your sweat from running. That's the smell they often have, something like that. Then you mix that outdoor sweat and sunlight with infrequent showering. We do know that rabbits bathe. They do have that 2 girls 1 barrel kind of thing. But having to fill that much water every day with only 1 set of clothing, I don't think they regularly shower in the barrel. They probably just wipe themselves. TLDR, having to live that rough outdoor lifestyle with lack of materials and 1 set of clothing, they will have that bad outdoor smell. I bet you fucks would pay good money to smell Saki's knee pads, you disgusting degenerates. But yeah, they would definitely smell bad every few days. I doubt they went to smell bad like Uwi. They seem like nice girls with good hygiene. Just lack of materials because homelessness. And if my argument is not enough, there's also a doujin of Saki with a smell tag. A doujin with a smell tag. Go read it, here's the sauce. So is the Rabbit Squad the worst? Perhaps. Okay, so for the next few batches, we're not gonna go in depth because there are some traits that everyone shares, blah 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 blah. I value your time very much, so here's the key takeaways for the next ones. Now for the next squad, the RU Squad. Okay, personally, I think RU Squad is the stinkiest. I already gave you a spoiler. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to berate them. I love these girls, I pity these girls, I wanna give these girls a better life. I wish they have a good life ahead of them. But oh man, I bet they absolutely stink. They definitely stink. But yeah. These girls probably don't have a constant bathing schedule. On top of moving place to place, they also scavenge for food, probably dumpster diving. Of course, this is just speculation, we don't know what happens to them after Eden Treaty, but I personally think Arius would smell bad, especially Misaki. Imagine right? You are sensei, and you tell the girls to take a bath, and Misaki goes, "Why take a bath? Life is meaningless. Vanitas vanitatum." So is RU Squad the worst? Probably. We'll see at the end. Special Class 227, aka Nodoka and Shigure, are probably stinky as well. They're exiled from Redwinter, and they live on the outskirts of the school in the forest. But I will just hit you up with a spoiler. They're not the stinkiest. Stinky, probably, but the stinkiest, nah. Because Redwinter is a snowy region, the temperature there keeps their conditions slightly better than Arius and Rabbit Squad. We don't know how bad they actually have it because nobody cares about Redwinter School, so I don't have a good estimate if they have supplies or not. So, Special Class 227 the worst? Not this time. And lastly, the Game Development Club. Particularly, specifically, Yuzu, Midori, and Momoe. So why these girls? Well, they are gamers, and gamers are not known to shower. But stereotypes aside, before I became a useless chunk of meat, I used to be a developer myself, and we had days where it's literal hell. I once had been on a crunch for 4 days, and I was a very young graduate back then. I was a fresh graduate at that time. I cried like a bitch. By extension, we could also say the hacker girls are stinky as fuck. But this also just circles back to Ui's situation where they all have what they need, they just don't have the time to shower, or probably they don't like it. Though unlike Ui, I think the game dev girls and the Veritas girls don't have bad hygiene, and they're just busy. Except maybe Yuzu. I think Yuzu is a stinky girl. Well, what about Arisu then? Why did I exclude her? She's an android, so I don't think she will ever smell bad. And she is in the game dev club to play video games, so she's not really a dev, just a gamer racist. But yeah, I think Arisu is the exception. So is the game dev club the stinkiest? Probably not. Stinky for sure, but probably not the stinkiest. Okay, now finally we've reached the summary of everything. Who is the stinkiest Blue Archive character? I could give you the easiest answer in the world and say that we don't know, only the devs will know the answer, let's ask Nexon. But that's boring, that's absolutely boring. But when it comes to smell, right, it's highly subjective, though I'm not gonna be a fence-sitting little wuss. Personally, I cannot tolerate outside smell. I would prefer indoor smell, indoor stink, over outside stink. So while I think, in general, Uwi would be the stinkiest, I think the smelliest is gonna be Aryu Squad. I really think Arius has the worst smell. Uwi, definitely the stinkiest. She has that cunny musk. But Aryu Squad, combining the outdoor smell, the garbage diving, they don't even have the supply to constantly bathe, eat, they're always on the move place to place, and they don't even... just read Hiyori and Misaki's story. They make SRT sound rich. Hiyori leeches free Wi-Fi and charges off of 7-Elevens and some shit. So yeah, I think for me, the stinkiest is the Aryu Squad. I can definitely put up with Uwi and the game dev stench. I've been with fat men in the office for 4 days. I know this. I know what fat people smell for 4 days with no baths. But what are your thoughts on who is the stinkiest? I think there's a room for debate here. There's really no clear answer as much as I want to give a clear answer. Alright, I've had enough degeneracy for this week. I'm gonna go to church and repent for my sins. And then sin again because I'm the cunny man. Alright, wrap up boys.